I'm Tommy D with the KnicksBlog.com. It's Friday. It's a rainy Friday in New York City. Hope everybody's well. Joining me today is Jared Zwerling. Does a great job for ESPN New York, also a contributor for ESPN Rise and ESPN The Magazine. Jared, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing, Tommy?
Doing well. Let's talk some Knicks. We got a chance to meet and got a chance to see the team last week, obviously, in training camp. What were your initial thoughts on what the Knicks have been able to do during the offseason, and how do you think they're going to do this year?
Well, even before training camp, I mean, the bonding they did off the field during the summer was just incredible. You heard about the guys coming to the practice early, Tony Douglas leading the way, Eddie Curry was a no-show, but just the bonding that they were doing, you can even see that when training camp started. The guys were, together on the court, kind of pulling each other aside. You even saw Amari kind of go over to the guys, even the big guys. There was a lot of good communication. You can see, I think, the bonding from the summer really translated well to the start of training camp. And then once training camp started, I mean, I think the energy on the court was really, really electric. During the 3-on-3 drills that they were doing, kind of pushing D'Antoni's system, I thought was really, really fun to watch. And I think guys were getting it right away. The defensive drills, we came there right when they were doing defense. Again, we were there an hour after practice started,
Sure.
But you don't know how they started practice. But just seeing that right away was really great, because obviously defense has been a little bit of a lack of an issue with the Knicks. So seeing that too.
And it's a big thing, and I think, the privilege and the great thing that we have to be able to get in there and see them. A lot of times fans don't believe they do a lot defensively in practice, and they do. And I, like you, was very impressed with the energy. But you mentioned the system and the style. To me, I think it can win. I liked watching the World Basketball Championships. I like the Olympics. I like the space. I like pick and roll game. Knicks fans necessarily don't, because it's not rugged defense, and you do have to play some defense. But do you think that this style and this system can be successful in the NBA?
I think it can, but the guys have to realize that when they're in practice doing these drills, these quick drills, they have to focus on getting back on defense, because D'Antoni, his system, you have the mentality to play offense quickly. You know what I mean? To get down the court, do what you can. So I think the players have to realize that it's going to win on defense. You know what I mean? They have to have the mentality that even though we're pushing the ball, up and down the court this fast, it starts on defense. So it's going to be a little bit of a challenge, I think, right away. But I think they have the height to really, rebound well. You look at the roster; they have about 6'7" guys, 6'9" or taller. There's a little question about who's going to be, starting at center. The latest is that maybe Anthony Randolph might even start right now. So that'll definitely give him some versatility in the post and also on defense with rebounding, block shots. So, I think they have the height to get back on defense quickly. Also, they have the foot speed too. You look at Moskov; he has a great footwork down the court. So
very raw, but very impressive.
Very
impressive. He looks like
for
for his size at 7'1", to be able to get up and down the court, set screens, and then he dunked everything. I mean, he was finishing at the rim all the time.
Yeah.
Not a great jump shooter yet, which you're going to need to have, but the kid's got some upside.
He does have some upside. I think the biggest thing is just being more aggressive. I was watching him in the post a little. He likes to do little hook shots, and he's crafty, and I think he has some good pump fakes, and I think he has good timeless in the post. But I think he has to just kind of become more accustomed to the aggressive style of the NBA basketball. These guys are big guys.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Very physical. They have a lot of physical presence. You look at Amari, just even looking at him, by the way, you asked me about training camp, my observations. Amari looks just like a physical beast.
Isn't he
He looks like he gained about 10 pounds of muscle. He looks like a dinosaur. He has huge shoulder muscles, and I think he's just taken a great leadership role. I think just coming to New York, he's really open to the spotlight here, from even off the court, doing fashion shows to having a billboard. I feel like he's really taking it in New York well, and I feel like he's ready to become a leader for this team.
He wants to be here, which is great, and I think he is the X factor when we talk about a possible trade or acquisition of Carmelo Anthony, because we know Anthony wants to win, and when you look at Miami and you look at Boston and LA with the three superstars, he knows he needs to go someplace that has one. Maybe he goes to New Orleans, Chicago. I don't know if they'd be able to have the pieces to put a deal together. The Knicks, if they can acquire a first-round pick, probably could. So it's almost an inevitability, in my opinion, that Melo will be in New York. What do you think about that?
I hope so. I hope so. I mean, he's from New York. He's from Brooklyn. I think this will be. I don't think everything will be reported throughout training camp. I think things will be kind of going on behind the scenes. And now that Chris Mullin is in Milan here, and he's possibly a replacement to Donnie Walsh, this is something that we're going to be talking about very closely, I think, with Carmelo. I think Carmelo needs, I think he understands that he has to come to New York, especially when you look at the Miami Heat, what they've done. Carmelo Anthony was in that same draft class, 2003. So all his buddies are, on one team. He's on the outside looking in. And he has, not only is New York where he's from, but he's seen what the Miami Heat has done. just don't realize why he would not want to be part of the Knicks. I mean, they're only going to compete to be part of the Knicks. Not only that, if he comes to the Knicks, you can get maybe Chris Paul, Tony Parker in a trade. So I think he's trying to push that, and I think the Knicks realize that. It's just the question is it going to happen?
We'll have to see what happens with the third possible superstar with the CBA. Obviously, quick prediction: Eastern Conference and the Knicks. What do you think? What do you think of those two things?
I think the Knicks will win 42 games. That's my prediction with the Knicks as far as the Eastern Conference finalists. I think the Heat and the Celtics will battle in the East. I think I don't think Shaq will be playing a lot of minutes during the regular season. I think they'll kind of save him towards the playoffs, and that'll be a really interesting matchup there because obviously Shaq played for the Heat, so that little rivalry would be really interesting to watch. I think the Magic are good, but I still doubt Dwight Howard's playoff experience. I just don't think he's the complete player. I mean, people have said that he worked with Hakeem Olajuwon in the offseason, and
he's got Ewing there too.
He has Ewing too. So I hear his offense is a little better suited this coming year, but I still question that, and I still question the chemistry. But I feel like the Celtics have great chemistry, and the Heat, again, chemistry is a question. But when you have three guys like that, Wade, Bosh, and LeBron, I mean, they're going to be contending. And I think so. Celtics, Heat. I think Heat go to the finals.
Hopefully, the Knicks at some point get in that mix as well. Jared, we appreciate the knowledge. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
And remember to get all your information on the Knicks and a little NBA. Check out the knicksblog.com, part of the SNY blog network. I'm Tommy D. We'll see you next time.